Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the bold and uncompromising leader of Burkina Faso, stood tall on this historic Thursday, March 20th, 2025. In the heart of Ziniare, beneath the scorching sun of Laongo, he officially inaugurated the Sino-Burkina industrial cement plant, CISINOB. But this was no ordinary ribbon-cutting ceremony. This was a declaration, an unshakable testament to Africa's march toward true sovereignty, self-sufficiency, and economic liberation. For the people of Burkina Faso, CISINOB is more than a factory. It is a symbol of resistance, a monument to independence, and a direct challenge to those who have fattened their pockets by auctioning off their nations to foreign interests. It is a beacon of hope, standing against decades of exploitation where leaders signed away resources in exchange for personal wealth, leaving their people in perpetual poverty. This massive plant hums with energy, its machinery roaring with the promise of producing 2,000 tons of cement daily and 750,000 tons annually. But the real impact is in the lives it touches: 110 permanent jobs for hardworking sons and daughters of Burkina Faso, plus 300 seasonal workers who now have a chance to build a future, not just for themselves, but for generations to come. This is not charity. This is empowerment. Burkina Faso is rising brick by brick, factory by factory, under the unwavering leadership of a 37-year-old revolutionary who refuses to kneel where others have bowed. And oh, how the corrupt tremble! From the polished offices of Nairobi to the opulent palaces of Abuja, from the diamond-encrusted vaults of Kinshasa to the beachfront mansions of Accra, the so-called big men of Africa are clutching their stolen wealth, watching in horror as a young captain dares to defy the script they have long upheld. For years, they have sold Africa to the highest bidders, whether in Paris, London, or Washington, greedy hands, signing away their country's futures while their people starved. They've grown fat on foreign subsidies, thriving on bribes and handouts, convinced that Africa would always remain dependent. But Traoré is rewriting the rules of the game, and he is not asking for permission. This cement plant is more than just concrete and steel. It is a direct challenge to everything these corrupt elites fear. Unlike foreign-owned factories that funnel profits abroad, CISINOB is a partnership, an agreement between Burkina Faso and China that prioritizes mutual respect over exploitation. This is not another Western-funded project stamped with a USAID logo, accompanied by condescending lectures from foreign diplomats. This is an African nation deciding its own fate, proving that true progress does not require approval from Washington or Paris. For the people of Burkina Faso, CISINOB means affordable cement for homes, schools, hospitals, and roads. It means an economy that works for its people, not for foreign interests. It is proof that Burkina Faso can stand on its own, shaping its own destiny without being shackled by the IMF, the World Bank, or predatory foreign policies. Since coming to power in September 2022, Captain Traoré has been a relentless force against neo-colonialism. In a move echoing the revolutionary spirit of Thomas Sankara, he toppled Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who had tried and failed to restore stability. But Traoré was not interested in mere stability, he sought true liberation. He expelled French troops, severed the economic chains of Western financial institutions, and found new partners who respected Burkina Faso's sovereignty. He invested in agriculture, built tomato processing plants, provided farmers with tractors, and now, with CISINOB, he is laying the foundation literally for an independent nation. His actions send a clear message. The era of corrupt African leaders living in luxury while their people suffer is coming to an end. And the world is taking notice. Then came the shockwave from across the Atlantic. Late in 2024, Donald Trump, fresh off his re-election, announced a drastic cut to USAID funding for Africa. Panic spread through the corridors of power across the continent. For decades, USAID had served as a lifeline for corrupt regimes, keeping them afloat with endless streams of aid while they squandered their own resources. Now, that safety net was gone. But for Traoré, this was no crisis. It was an opportunity. Burkina Faso had already begun walking a different path, one of self-reliance, of economic independence, of partnerships that did not demand submission in return. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. Burkina Faso is not retreating. It is leading, and the world is watching. For years, Western aid programs like USAID were a safety net for Africa's corrupt elite, a never-ending stream of funds that filled their pockets, kept their people dependent, and ensured the cycle of exploitation remained unbroken. But then, in late 2024, Donald Trump, fresh into his second term and as unapologetic as ever, decided to pull the plug. "Let them figure it out," he reportedly said, cutting off the lifeline that had propped up leaders more loyal to foreign interests than their own citizens. And now, across Africa's capitals, those so-called big men are in chaos, scrambling to adjust, clutching their empty begging bowls. Yet in Burkina Faso, there is no panic, only progress. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has never relied on Western crumbs. He has never knelt before Washington, Paris, or Brussels. And now, with the inauguration of the CISINOB cement plant, he is proving once again that Africa does not need permission to thrive. On March 20th, 2025, under the scorching sun of Laongo, Traoré stood before thousands, his military fatigues a stark contrast to the polished suits of those who have long sold out their people. As he spoke, his voice carried not the empty promises of foreign aid, but a bold declaration of self-reliance. With our own hands, we will build our nation. And build, they have. The CISINOB cement plant is more than a factory. It is a declaration of sovereignty, a hammer blow to the system that has kept Africa under Western control. With the capacity to produce 2,000 tons of cement per day and 750,000 tons annually, it is creating real jobs for real people, 110 permanent workers, and 300 seasonal laborers who are no longer at the mercy of foreign handouts. Across the continent, the corrupt elites are watching in horror. From Nairobi to Abuja, from Kinshasa to Accra, the same men who have spent decades auctioning off Africa's wealth to the highest bidder are realizing that their time is running out. They have grown fat off foreign bribes, signing away Africa's minerals, forests, and oil fields, while their people starved. They believed the status quo would last forever, that Africa would always remain a beggar at the global table. But Traoré is not playing by their rules. Unlike them, he is not selling off his country's future, he is building it. While they are busy attending elite conferences in Davos, rubbing shoulders with their foreign masters, Traoré is in the fields with farmers, in factories with workers, and on the front lines with soldiers. While they count their offshore bank deposits, he is counting the days until Burkina Faso can feed itself, power itself, and defend itself. And this is why they fear him. They saw him expel French troops. They saw him reject IMF loans and Western aid that came with strings attached. They saw him nationalize gold mines, redirecting the wealth to development and defense instead of foreign bank accounts. They saw him form an unbreakable alliance with Niger and Mali, forging a Sahelian bloc that no longer bows to ECOWAS or Western dictates. And now, with CISINOB, they see him laying the foundation, literally, for an independent economy, free from their grasp. Traoré was supposed to be just another passing figure in Africa's history. A coup leader who would either sell out or be taken out. That's what the corrupt elites whispered in their back rooms. But 2.5 years later, he is stronger than ever. His name echoes from Dakar to Dar es Salaam, from Accra to Addis Ababa. Across Africa, young people are waving his flag, chanting his name, and daring to dream of a future where their leaders serve the people, not foreign corporations. And now, with the USAID pipeline cut off, the corrupt elites stand exposed naked emperors in a storm of their own making. They can no longer blame Washington or Brussels for their failures. Burkina Faso is proving that Africa does not need the West to rise. The CISINOB plant is just the latest proof, but the fight is far from over. Those who profit from Africa's suffering will not give up without a struggle. They will plot, slander, and scheme. They will call Traoré a dictator, a radical, a threat to stability, their favorite excuse to keep Africa in chains. But the people are not blind. They see the new roads, the new jobs, the restoration of national pride. They see a leader who builds, while the corrupt only steal. They see a future where Africa stands on its own 2 feet, and they are ready to fight for it. So let the old guard tremble. Let the sellouts and traitors shake in fear. A new Africa is rising, brick by brick, and Burkina Faso is leading the way. Brothers and sisters, before we conclude, there is one final truth that must be spoken. Across the vast and diverse lands of our beloved Africa, a name echoes through the winds of change, a name that carries the weight of hope, defiance, and the promise of a new dawn. Who among us has the courage to break free from the chains of greed and self-interest that have crippled our continent for generations? Who dares to stand against the puppeteers who manipulate our leaders from distant capitals? One man has stepped forward, not as a servant of foreign masters, but as a warrior for his people, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He is more than just the transitional leader of Burkina Faso. He has become a symbol of Pan-Africanism, a beacon for a continent long exploited yet never broken. While corrupt politicians continue to sell out their nations for personal gain, while Western powers quietly siphon away Africa's wealth, Traoré has chosen a different path, one rooted in justice, self-reliance, and the unwavering pursuit of dignity. His leadership is a call to action, reminding African leaders everywhere that power is a duty, not a privilege, and that true leadership means serving the people, not personal ambitions. Since taking office, he has done what so many African leaders before him only spoke of but never accomplished. While others filled their pockets with the spoils of power, he refused the luxurious presidential salary, choosing instead to keep his modest captain's wage. Imagine that while others chase wealth, he slashed government salaries by 20%, redirecting the funds to where they were truly needed: healthcare, education, economic independence, and national security. From Ouagadougou to Nairobi, from Dakar to Johannesburg, the impact of his actions is spreading like wildfire. His face is everywhere, painted on walls, celebrated in music, shared across social media. Young Africans look at him and see more than just a leader. They see a reflection of their own aspirations, a leader who refuses to kneel before foreign interests, a leader who is investing in the future rather than plundering his nation's wealth. In Lagos, a mural of him proudly declares, "Africa's son." On social media, his speeches are reposted thousands of times, his bold decisions sparking conversations across the continent. But this is not just admiration. It is a warning to those still clinging to the old ways of corruption and betrayal. Traoré's rise exposes the rot in many of our capitals, revealing the stark contrast between a leader who builds for his people and those who sign away our resources for foreign approval. While others sit in luxurious boardrooms making backroom deals that leave their nations in ruins, Traoré is building Burkina Faso's first national bank to free his people from economic slavery. While corrupt officials shake hands with multinational corporations that extract wealth while leaving the land barren, Traoré is forging alliances with nations that respect Africa's sovereignty. He is not asking for permission. He is taking what rightfully belongs to his people. And this is why the corrupt tremble. Because his example is proof that Africa does not have to beg, that we are not doomed to remain poor while our leaders hoard wealth. His leadership is a blueprint, showing us that with courage, integrity, and the will of the people, we can reclaim our destiny. Corruption has long been the disease eating away at Africa's soul. From the fertile lands of Zimbabwe to the oil-rich deltas of Nigeria, from the bustling ports of Kenya to the diamond mines of the Congo, greed has poisoned our progress. While schools collapse, hospitals run out of medicine, and children go hungry, billions disappear into offshore accounts. The African Union estimates that corruption drains $148 billion from the continent every year, money that could build roads, power grids, and industries. Money that could uplift millions from poverty. And yet, year after year, these same leaders take to international stages, humiliating themselves, begging for aid that should never have been necessary in the first place. They have the power to change their nations, but instead, they keep Africa on its knees. Traoré is showing us another way. He is not asking for handouts, he is demanding accountability. He is not waiting for foreign approval, he is taking action. He is proving that Africa's salvation will not come from the West, but from within. Across the vast and diverse lands of Africa, a name is rising like the morning sun, casting long shadows over the corrupt halls of power. That name is Captain Ibrahim Traoré. More than just the leader of Burkina Faso, he has become a symbol, a beacon of defiance, resilience, and the long-buried dream of a sovereign Africa. When he founded the Burkina Faso State Bank, it wasn't just a financial institution, it was a declaration of independence. When he cut ties with France and turned to Russia and other non-Western allies, he didn't do it for spectacle, he was breaking the chains of economic enslavement, cutting off the parasitic grip of the IMF and World Bank, whose loans have drained Africa's wealth while pretending to offer salvation. He did not bow to international pressure or cower before those who wished to destabilize his country. When rumors of a coup spread, he didn't hide behind a carefully scripted statement. He went on national television, looked his people in the eye, and reaffirmed his commitment to them. True leadership isn't about comfort. It's about standing firm in the storm. And Traoré has done just that. But think about the uneasy whispers in Africa's luxurious government buildings. Imagine the sleepless nights of politicians who have built their empires on stolen wealth, scrolling through social media only to see Traoré's name trending once more. His image floods their timelines, shared by their own people, with one simple question. Why can't you be like him? Think of the autocrats who have ruled for decades, watching as their youth march through the streets, waving the flag of Burkina Faso, chanting for change. This is not just admiration, this is a warning. Traoré embodies the spirit of Thomas Sankara, the dream of Kwame Nkrumah, the resistance of Patrice Lumumba. He is the echo of a long-buried truth. Africa does not have to beg. Across the continent, the sentiment is the same. In Cape Town, a schoolteacher calls him a leader who serves the people, not the wealthy elite. In Bamako, a market woman grins and asks, "Where are Marley's lions? Traoré is our lion." These are not just words, they are the seeds of a revolution. For too long, African leaders have sold their nations piece by piece, standing in long lines with their begging bowls, trading their country's future for personal luxury. And while their people wait in food queues and struggle for survival, Traoré is proving that a different path is possible. Let's be clear, Burkina Faso is not a paradise, and Traoré is not a saint. His nation is still battling a brutal insurgency, and his economy, like so many others, remains vulnerable. His decision to extend the transition period by 5 years has sparked debate, with some accusing him of clinging to power. These concerns are valid. Hold him accountable? Yes. Critique his policies? Yes. But let's be honest, he has done more in 2 years than most African leaders have done in 20. While others hoard wealth, he cut government salaries, including his own, to fund education, healthcare, and infrastructure. While others sell off their country's resources to the highest bidder, he has nationalized key industries, redirecting profits back to his people. So, to every African leader, look in the mirror. Your people are watching, and they are asking, why can't you do the same? Why are you cutting school budgets instead of your own salaries? Why are you inviting foreign corporations to strip your land while your people starve? Why are you fighting to keep power instead of fighting for those who put you there? Traoré has given everything: his time, his sweat, his very safety for his people. What have you given? Make no mistake, this is bigger than Burkina Faso. Across Africa, something is changing. From Mali to Niger, young leaders are standing up. In Ghana, students are demanding leaders who serve the people, not foreign interests. In South Africa, intellectuals debate Traoré's approach, seeing in him a glimpse of what Africa could be. To the corrupt, be warned. Your time is running out. No palace, no foreign backing, no stolen fortune will save you when the people finally rise. The drums of Pan-Africanism are beating again. The youth are waking up. Traoré is not alone. He is the tip of the spear, but behind him are millions fed up, determined, and ready to reclaim their future. This is the one lesson Traoré imparts to us is clear. The future of Africa belongs to the brave, not the greedy. Is it possible for the West to force Traoré to bow? Does Burkina Faso need anyone now that it has new alliances? Tell us why the West believes it can still rule African countries in the comments box. Would you like to see more videos similar to this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon next to it. Thank you for viewing, and be sure to tune in for the next video.